Hey, what's up guys, my name is Savix, and in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to beat Frost Death Knights. I know many of you guys have been asking me for this guide, so instead of fighting other classes, I thought I'd take care of the hardest ones first. Death Knights are one of the hardest classes for Reds because of their massive damage and their utilities to get out of CCs. First, I want to go over my talents and glyphs, but before I say more, I want to let you guys know that you don't have to choose these talents if it doesn't work for you, because everyone has a different playstyle. So the first skill will be Long Arms of the Law for the purpose of chasing and kiting. Next up is Fist of Justice, only because the other two have long cooldown or casting time. I can't afford to wait that long against this fight. Selfless Healer. This is one of the best heals for Retribution Paladin. Every proc will reduce the casting time of Flash of Light by 35%, and stacking this 3 times will grant you an instant Flash of Light. For my fourth choice, I'm going with Unbreakable Spirit, and I know this will confuse some of you guys, but it will all make sense when I go over it with the glyphs. Holy Avenger will be the best choice for this fight. Reds can benefit both survivability and massive pressure from it. You guys already know what it's capable of doing, so I won't be going over that. If the Death Knight is holding Conversion instead of Death Pack, Sanctified Rats seem to work a lot better against it. Execution Sentence is an obvious choice because of the massive burst it can do when it reaches its point. And lastly, Empower Seal for many reasons: Kite, Survivability, and Burst. This is also a combo for one of the glyphs I'm going to introduce you guys to. For my glyphs, there are going to be Glyph of Word of Glory, Glyph of Divine Protection, Glyph of Templar's Verdict. Glyph of Word of Glory is the main key that will help you outburst the DK's regenerations. It increases your damage by 3% by every time you spend Word of Glory. It can stack up to 9%, which will be huge with Vindicator's Fury, adding them to a total of 18%. Also, keep in mind that Seal of Truth will grant you 15% attack power. This will be just enough to get through their defenses and regenerations. Glyph of Divine Protection for my second choice. Reason for it is because Death Knights can burst every minute with Pillar of Frost, which grants them 20% strength, and Trinket that increases their strength or versatility. Divine Protection is a very fast cooldown with Unbreakable Spirit, so try to use this whenever it's up, just so that you wouldn't have to spend so much holy power to healing. But it will be best if you use it against their burst. Lastly, Glyph of Templar's Verdict. This is a huge defensive skill for Red Paladins. Every time you use Templar's Verdict or Exorcism, it grants you a buff that makes you take 10% less damage for 6 seconds. Reds can take a lot of damage, that's why we have all these healings, so use them to your advantage. If you get a chance, try using Flash of Light with 2 Selfless Healer procs. Trust me, this works great. You don't have to wait for 3 Selfless Healer to heal all the time. Few skills that you should know when fighting against the DKs are Icebound Fortitude. This not only reduces their damage intake by 20%, but also makes them immune to all stuns. Anti-Magic Shell. This spell makes Death Knights immune to all harmful magic effects, such as Fist of Justice, Execution Sentence, and etc. So you really have to watch out what you're using. This also lets them absorb magical damage by 75%. Dark Simulacrum. This can copy any spell from you, so you better watch out for this as well. To counter this, use Cleanse or Emancipate. When to use Divine Shield and Hand of Protection. There are only 3 ways to use them. 1. When you are super low. 2. When you see them bursting, pre-use it to save healing. 3. To get out of certain stun situations. Mostly I would use Divine Shield when I'm low and Hand of Protection to get out of the stuns. I've tried many different ways, such as extending the duels long, cycling Fist of Justice until they use Desecrated Ground, Icebound, and Trinket, so I could get a full stun and let them take it, but that took way too long, and it was tough to keep up. Now instead of saving my burst for later, I try my best to use it earlier depending on how fast the DK uses his defensives or how fast he bursts. Every DK plays different, so it's best if you save your burst when you have a good chunk of health. That way, healing won't hold you back from doing pure damage. You will never get a clear shot on DKs unless you go through with all their abilities to remove stuns. Now let's go back to where I said burst when they burst. Why would I burst when they burst? Because this will take out all their defensives, and the best part is that this will most likely get them to switch into blood presence. This will slow down their runic power regeneration, meaning they won't burst harder on you. This is the best way to start out the duel, by gaining 3 seal buffs: Insight, Righteousness, and Truth, along with 2 stuns before bursting. So that way they are only left with 1 ability to get out of the stuns. If they refuse to use them, great, we'll do more damage and set up safer. While I start with seal buffs, you can see that I tend to kite the DKs so that they won't do much damage on me. Getting all 3 seals take a bit of time, so I would kite with Judgment, Exorcism, then run towards them to get a Crusader Strike, then repeat, until I'm done setting up with seals. Death Knights will drain your mana, so you must keep track of your mana as well. There will be lots of cleansing and emancipating to do in this fight. Also, try your best to save Hand of Freedom until they use Death Grip. This worked very well for me, so use Emancipate until they grip you. Last thing I have left to say to you guys is kite when they burst, unless you're choosing to burst with them. I want you guys to do your best to play safe for a guaranteed win. People might complain about kiting, but in the end nothing matters. A duel is a duel, you do whatever it takes to win. Use every skill to your advantage and don't hold back. So good luck and do your best. Let me know in the comments below if you need further info or if anything confused you guys. I'll be more than happy to help.